Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to cover a quick topic today just on how to clear a double feed with your pistol, which is basically a failure to extract and a failure to feed at the same time. There is the traditional legacy way, and there's a, I guess, newer style that's a little more efficient, and I'm still testing that out because I've been kind of in the park of doing the traditional side for so long, but this new style definitely has merit. You just got to test out and see if it works for your system, right? So first, traditional style, right? I'm just going to go over the style of keeping and retaining the magazine. Assuming you guys are still carry holders or coppers that don't have unlimited ammo, I want to retain that mag if I can. All right, so setting it up, we're just using dummy rounds right now. So there's a dummy round in the chamber, which would typically be an empty casing after a fired round, and then a new live round trying to get loaded in there at the same time. You can see that from here. All right, most of the time, guys, from here you can recognize the slide being back, squishy trigger, dead trigger, some kind of cue that tells you what's going on. Some people will default to doing a tap rack. We'll just go right into it saying we know this is this type of malfunction, right? So traditional sake, right? We lock the slide to the rear, right? Easing tension off that magazine. Strip the magazine. If you want to retain the magazine, cool. And then we're just going to rack out that round. I already saw the round kick out, but for whatever reason, we're doing 3 racks because that's how we got taught, right? I gas it back up, and I'm ready to go, right? That's the traditional sake. Obviously, if it's daylight and I see the round coming out, do I need to rack it 3 times? Absolutely not, right? It doesn't make any sense. The newer modern style of this, all right, same setup here, right? Just a different gun. Instead of easing tension off the slide, removing the magazine, racking it a bunch of times, we kind of eliminate some of those steps, right? So I recognize that this is a double feed type of malfunction. I immediately press the magazine release, which obviously is not going to drop the mag because there's tension there. I'm going to rip the magazine out, and we notice that the slide went forward. Typically, this is going to happen, right? So usually this is going to be an empty casing that's in there. Could be a live round, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to be an empty casing. So from here, I have 2 options. I can either rack the slide with this gun empty, or since again the slide is in battery, I insert that magazine, rack that shitty round out, and I'm back in the fight, right? A lot more efficient. Obviously, you got to train this and make sure it works for your system. One thing I have found with this, if I can set this up quickly on the camera here, is if you're running a magwell and stock magazines like this guy. So this is what I run for work. It's got, I want to say it's a Terran Tactical magwell. I've been jumping a couple different options, or maybe it was an agency, agency magwell. But they're stock magazines. I've had some issues with plus base plates, so I wanted to stick with something that worked all the time, which is OEM mags and their floor plates. Obviously, your mileage will vary on that. With this, I don't have a lot of purchase on that that floor plate or that base plate. With that other gun I had, I can still grab onto that. Okay, so that is a concern. So if I try to do this new style with this, right, recognize this double feed, push the mag release, I have to grab this mag kind of goofy, right, versus the side, and I'm not as consistent with getting this out as fast. As you can see, it takes me a little time to do it. So with this gun, right, yeah, that got back in the fight. Probably around the same time it would take for the traditional legacy way, but obviously not very efficient with how I had to get that magazine out of there. I'm struggling. So if you have the +2, +5, whatever base plates, this will work all the time. If you're using just a stock Glock, even the Gen 5s, you can usually still grab onto that floor plate, no issue. But if you are running some type of, again, some type of magwell like this, and it's not giving you purchase on that floor plate, something you got to consider, whether, again, you're going to get a less, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, get a smaller magwell or something that's a little more minimalist, or again, adjust your mags. So I'm kind of in the debate of what I want to do with that, whether I want to keep this magwell and just, go back to using +2 base plates, +5, whatever, and just make sure I'm keeping up on my springs, because my issues with this were typically spring tension would lose quickly over time, because a lot of the +2s use stock springs. So either using a plussed up spring, or again, using an aftermarket spring to make sure these are keeping tension, or just going to a different, more minimalist magwell. I've already broke a Magpul one, so that's why I went with a metal one. So again, your mileage will vary. Just wanted to throw 2 options out there, right? The legacy style, again, is locking the slide to the rear, removing the magazine, racking until the round comes out, or 3 if you can't see it. That's kind of the traditional, right? But most of the time you can do it in 1 or 2. Gassing back up and loading. Newer style, modern style, it's a little more efficient, is as soon as I recognize it's double feed, right, I am pressing that magazine release, ripping the magazine out, right, slide goes forward. I can either insert and rack, or rack, insert, rack, right, depending on what your style is. So hope that helps. I know it's a lot of rambling here, but try it out, see if it works for your system, because right now with my system, that's not very efficient. It's not reliable for me, right, to get it on demand. So I'd have to either switch something up with my gear or, again, continue to use the legacy style. So try it out, see what works for you.